Hi everybody, and welcome back to Complete the Fandom, the channel where we celebrate, discuss and share our thoughts on the thousands of fans that are out there. Today we're doing predictions on Captain America Civil War. We've got Dan with us today to share his thoughts as well.
Hello.
Right, you and me have both read the Civil
Yep.
War comics, and so
Yes.
we've got a wider scope on what normal cinema goers would look for. But I want to mainly concentrate on the film itself.
Okay.
So let's start off. I mean, is it a film you're looking forward to?
I am, yeah. To be fair, the MCU has kind of grabbed me quite well in terms of wanting to see them and going to see them.
Yeah.
I've yet to see one that disappointed.
Yeah.
If we discount Iron Man 3, but even then it wasn't a total disappointment, as it were. There were still enjoyable elements to it.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, I'm certainly looking forward to it, and the trailers have done a very nice job of building the excitement. So.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. We know Civil War in the comics is a huge thing. It went on for so many months. Can't remember how many months.
Good few months, covered every title as well.
Yeah.
Had their run of it and the impact on them.
Yeah. So, do you think it can be contained in one film?
The comic version, no.
Yes.
Obviously, whatever story they've come up with, they've done it with being based on one film. But in terms of to cover the amount of material that you have in the Civil War arc,
Yeah.
I couldn't see it fitting in one film.
No.
And actually, I know it's a conversation you and me have had a few times before. When the MCU first started, you first had Avengers came out.
Yeah.
I remember a discussion we had talking about what if they did Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of predictions as we're doing now. One thing that I remember us talking about was the whole build up to it.
Yeah.
So, obviously, if anybody watching this doesn't know, Civil War, in the comics and the story there, it starts off with a group called the New Warriors, who are a young group of superheroes and have their own kind of reality TV show that follows them around. And it's while doing a show, they encounter a group of supervillains with Nitro, whose superpower is he can explode, because comics always make sense. And in the fight, he explodes and wipes out 600 people, including a school full of, I think 600 kids, sorry.
Yeah.
600 people.
Yeah.
Large number of people, large number of children with a school. And that leads to the implementation of the Act and the registration and the whole Civil War.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked about it'd be really cool to see them do something like that.
Yes.
Look at the Netflix series with Daredevil, do like a 6-episode mini-series
Yeah.
that ends with the explosion.
Yes.
And you'd go into the films, and the films deal with the impact, and it's the registration and the Civil War leading from there. So, yeah, if you were going to try and hit some of those beats, and certainly some of the bigger events within the war itself, rather than the lead up to it, I can't see them fitting it into one film.
No. I mean, and we talked about this before. I mean, I'm going to leave this to the end of the video, but we'll might as well go with it now.
Yeah.
Is we've discussed it being more of a phase
Yes.
storyline rather than just the one film. It goes through all the movies
Mhm.
with the interaction between the different factions.
Yes.
And it probably would have been done earlier if we could, because of Iron Man and Captain America trilogies.
Yep.
And it would have been a better Iron Man 3 for definite. And yeah, we thought about how it would interact with Thor and all the other films that would be Phase 3. I think we were discussing it, or Phase 4.
Yeah, I mean, we went into. I remember we went into quite a lot of detail.
Okay.
We had our entire MCU planned out with.
We're fanboys.
Hence the channel. So yeah, it was kind of cover everything, and I think, yeah, that because we our plan, if you will, our kind of idea for it was a lot more grandiose.
Yes.
It was more in line with the comic book storyline itself.
Yeah.
And we talk about it covered every single title that was produced by Marvel at the time. I think there may be one or two that weren't, but for the majority of them certainly. So our plan was that the same would happen with the films.
Yes.
You'd have this miniseries. It might be that a Cap film is him dealing with Shield potentially, and having to do the choice in the comics where he said, "Look, you either join us and implement registration or not."
Yeah.
The whole jumping out of the helicarrier and the fight with Shield and they're going into hiding. So you'd have that as a film, and taking it down that route. But you'd have to have a lot more characters in there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It is the other side as well, which then potentially opens up all the rights issues and so on and so forth.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we did have a major plan, and I think it would still work, even if it weren't a major storyline in each film, where it was just kind of in the background. Just so it expanded, and you had a feeling that friendships were lost, and it was an actual war rather than just all crammed into. To be granted, it's 2.5 hours long, or 2 hours 45 minutes. It's a long one.
It's going to be a long one. I think, the risk with that and sort of, I suppose, a bit of hindsight, and like we said, it's been a couple of years actually since we originally talked about it. And I know we're going to do a video on Batman Superman as a bit of a review because we did the predictions.
Yep.
Having seen that, I think the risk would be you get an issue, which I'll talk about more in the video, of you'd fill a film up with too much.
Yeah.
I think now, if you did a Civil War and you were trying to fit that in as well as whatever the story was, you risk muddling it and confusing whatever it is that's going on in that film.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, one film could work. Like I say, it depends on... I mean, we've got plenty of plot details. Obviously, there's the attack that's shown, which I think looks like it's on the UN in some fashion.
Yeah.
Potentially, it's... From the trailers, it seems like it's pinned on Bucky being the one who does the attack. Whether it is or not, we'll find out.
Yeah, they quite good with the trailers.
Yes, you've got the whole hostage scene as well, which appears to tie into Crossbones appearing.
Yes, yeah.
And then how that ties into the wider. You've got the appearance of the Raft prison.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with that? Whether that's been built before or is built in response.
Or it's like an Iron Man type thing.
Has he been building stuff behind everyone's back again?
Well, yeah, kind of like a Batman planning, in the comics anyway, planning everyone's demise, even his own teammates type thing. Not demise, but a way to defeat them.
Take them down,
Yeah. And in Marvel we trust. I know we've had our ideas, but to be fair, like you've said before, the films have been all good so far. So...
Yeah, so in my humble opinion,
So saying all this... what do you feel about it being a Captain America movie? Should this be an Avengers movie? Have they taken something away from Captain America? Technically, this is Avengers 2.5. This is all the characters so far.
Yeah.
But I just feel so bad that Captain America's not got his third film. They only have trilogies, as far as we know. They might expand it.
Yeah.
But it's his last film, and they're kind of just throwing everyone else in there. And I don't think that's fair on the characters. So many villains that you could be facing, so many different storylines in the comics that you can follow. Your opinions on this?
Well, I mean, obviously, when we were planning to do this video, we had a chat about it, and you said you wanted to go through. The one thing that's kind of run through my mind in regards to this is, what would you do instead? If you were going to do a Cap film, and you look at how Cap is in the MCU at the moment, the kind of point he's at, what would you do as a solo Cap film that wasn't Civil War if that was going to be an Avengers film? So it's...
So I've not read that many Captain America storylines. The ones I have read have been after the Civil War, and there was a Mark Waid one a while back when they came back from an alternate universe that was written by Image character. So I've read bits and bobs, but I've never been a great follower of Captain America, so I can't think of a storyline off the top of my head.
I mean, I'm in the same boat really. The majority of the Cap stuff I've read is Avengers based, or it was the Civil War and the Cap arc within Civil War, for example. So again, if I potentially missed storylines you could use, but at the same time, nothing kind of springs to mind of this could be a really good Cap film that you could do at this point to then lead into a new Avengers film that could be Civil War, or moving the MCU forward in that regard. So I know what you mean about, is it fair for Cap to miss out on a solo film?
Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you've got the argument as well. He's a film character. Fairness doesn't really matter.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's a fictional character. I'm getting too involved. That's the right one.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it's not really an issue. I think as long as it's a good film,
Yeah.
that's going to be the key point for it. So
Yeah. I assume they'll be following Captain America more than they'll have it in his point of view.
yeah, well, yeah, I think that's going to impact the tone of the film and the direction they use. The fact that it's a Cap film means that he's going to be the good guy in the situation, or at least he's going to be held up as being the good guy. I mean, we see the film, it might be that actually the Sokovia Accords, Cap should really follow them and he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But how the film's going to be is he's going to be front and centre, he's going to be the good guy, the upholder of the good values and so on.
Yeah.
So that's going to what's the word? Pushing forward, really. That's going to be why it's a Cap film. If that makes sense.
Spotlights on him, type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know all the Avengers are in there.
Yep.
There's a lot of new Avengers that haven't been expanded on. So we've got Scarlet Witch.
Yep.
Falcon to an extent.
So, yeah.
Vision.
Yep.
They're the ones that have been introduced but haven't been expanded on.
Yes. So obviously they're the team at the end of Ultron.
Yes.
Aren't they? Cap goes into the room and they're there, and you could say obviously Ant-Man.
Of course, Ant-Man. Yes. Yeah.
Whether they're going to be the secret Avengers you have from sort of Civil War and that carries on. That's Cap Team.
Yeah.
And then obviously Spidey as well.
Yes.
Black Panther.
What do you feel about the introduction of these characters? Is there too many newish characters to feel involved with them? Or do you think Marvel's done a good enough job to actually feel for these characters? Say Scarlet Witch.
So Scarlet Witch, for most of Ultron, she's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Realistic, and then you have the face turn if it was wrestling, really, and she switches. She becomes part of the Avengers. She's now a good guy. So there is character development in there.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that she found the reason to become a good guy.
Yes.
Realised what Ultron's plan was. She realised, crap, that's a bad thing. Let's work against it. Let's stop it. So it was a logical progression as a character to follow and to move along. So at least there has been some development.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't brand new, all of a sudden here's someone front and centre that we're going to pretend you know, but actually you've not seen before.
Yeah.
So she's had some, how that plays out in the film to continue that, and kind of where that struggle lies for her as well. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even Vision, when he got created, his storyline did evolve. That, what was it, 40 minutes he was in the film or something?
Something like that.
You kind of got involved with him a lot more as well. I think it was the hammer picking up that you'd think, wow, So Black Panther, with the scenes that you've seen in the trailers and stuff,
Yes.
how do you think he fits in well? Do you think he doesn't?
Looks really good. I mean, in the trailer you've got the car chase.
Yeah.
Looking on the motorbike, and he swipes the wheel out from under him.
Oh, that scene! I love that, like a proper tiger panther.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the big cats.
Yeah.
The extended scene they did as well, which was Bucky fighting against Stark, Agent 13, Widow, and Panther.
Yes.
Have you seen that one where Tony gets the hand armor?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
He's got like a stun setting on it or something, and you see Panther fighting in there, and it's very fast-paced combat. It looks like sort of a Muay Thai or kickboxing style of fighting.
Right.
Kicks thrown around.
Yeah.
But the general movement, you see him sort of running along, jumping over a railing, and it's very fluid, very acrobatic, very feline kind of movements going down into the crouch when he lands and so on. So in that regard, it looks very good.
So they worked on the character.
Yes,
They've
yeah,
really worked on the character. Yeah.
yeah. And the costume looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I think it certainly looks amazing. So and the fact it's made of vibranium as well, or vibranium weave apparently.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's a bit where he's fighting Bucky on the roof, and the chopper's going around, shoots, and you see the bullets bouncing off him.
Right. I've not seen that. I like the Captain America shield. And
Oh, he's dragging the
forcing
shield
it down. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So do you think his powers are enhanced with the suit, or do you think he's quite trained?
Well, this depends on where they go. I mean, obviously he's getting his own solo film, so the question is going to be how much we see of his backstory within this film.
Yeah.
Is it literally going to be he's introduced as T'Challa in the UN, he's a head of state, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this head of state can really kick some arse and takes on Bucky, then suits up, and it turns out he's Black Panther. That's going to be it. Whether there'll be an explanation of where he gets his powers from within this, or that's just going to be left to the solo film.
Which would be more interesting, I think. It'd be a mysterious character than you get his solo,
Yes. Definitely. And I don't think it's all going to be in the suit. Like I say, that fight scene with Bucky that's in one of the TV clips, you can see that he has skills, the way he's running and jumping.
Yeah.
The car chase one, the speed he's clearly running at.
Oh, God, yeah.
With the style of suit, it doesn't look like it's going to be an exoskeleton or something that's enhancing his speed. Probably going to be wrong, but it does look like that's a power level he has.
Yeah. Yeah, and to see the advanced technology as well, if the suit does bring some abilities.
Yeah.
Because Wakanda is an advanced country.
Yes.
So, yeah, I hope they bring a lot of that into it as well. Going from Black Panther, Spider-Man.
Yes.
How much do you think he's going to fit into it, or are you happy he's in it?
I don't know.
Yes.
I've had a very weird relationship with the Spider-Man film so far.
Yes.
I think there's been some really good bits, and the more recent ones, Andrew Garfield in the first one, I actually quite liked him in the role of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. He kind of hit some of the right notes in the arrogance, the cockiness, the quipping when he's fighting, that kind of side of things.
Oh, yeah.
The problem for me was then in the second one, that seemed to just be going on overdrive, and it seemed to be true arrogance.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than the quips and the cockiness that you'd seen in the comics with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The fanboy in me screamed a little bit. So yeah, it's been some good bits, but overall not great for me with the Spider-Man. So I like the idea they're going to being a teenager.
Oh yes, definitely, yeah.
And sort of taking him back in that regard, and that the aim is to show that he's young and he's a teenager.
Yeah.
But then you go back to, we talked about the difference between the comic and the films, and if you did the comic Civil War, one of the big major beats was obviously Pete reveals himself.
Yes.
Mask off, lets everyone know he's really Spider-Man, national TV, big uproar. That's clearly not going to happen.
No. He's not been in the universe that long.
No.
People to know him, yeah.
That's it. And even if they were to put some exposition in there of he's been swinging around New York, Manhattan for the past 3 years and saving people, it's still not going to be something that would have that impact. It's not a momentous occasion like you had in the comics to do in the film. So,
because that's what everyone was raving about when they said Spider-Man wasn't going to be in it. They said that he needs to be in it because he's a major part of it. But as you said, he can't have that major part in it because it's not been enough exposure of the character in the films.
Yeah, definitely. So it's how he plays in it. I mean, the only stuff really we've had is that underoos, swings in, hi guys, that's it. That's all you see. Clearly the airport fight scene, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's just going to have a very small part.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
Yeah, literally he's in that fight for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he's done.
Yeah. As if they shoehorned him into it. It's like they were writing Civil War, then they've made this deal with Sony, and they said, we're going to have to get him in. Just, because his new films are going to come out. Yeah. Which I'm looking forward to. I'm like to say, the Spider-Man films have been up and down. A new start's always good on occasions. Spider-Man for definite. because he changes with the times.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can get it right this time,
Yeah.
especially with the Marvel team kind of pushing them along in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. And I just don't want them to do another Origin.
Oh God, no, no, they
Just me,
can't do
but
that.
yeah.
They,
How often are you going to see it? And actually, it's back to a bit of Batman Superman. If for those who have seen the film, they know the first, I think it's 10, maybe 15 minutes, are basically the origin of Batman.
Yeah,
It's a slow motion. You see the death of his parents, and talks a bit about that really. And it's like, even those people who don't read the comics,
yeah,
even if they've barely seen any Batman films, pretty sure majority of people going to see it are gonna know Batman's parents are dead.
yeah,
Kickstarted him becoming Batman.
yeah. Same with Spider-Man, isn't it? Everyone knows he's been bitten by a radioactive spider.
Yeah.
They can't play that again, surely.
Yeah, hopefully not. It's certainly not as the main part. I mean, they're not. I mean, to be fair, I would be very surprised if they did it as a main part because they're introducing him in Civil War.
Yeah.
To then go to do a solo film and it's taking it back before he was Spider-Man and then it goes to Spider-Man and on would be an interesting choice. I can't see it really working out.
And Iron Man's in Spider-Man. It's been confirmed. So whether it's going to be like an end of thing. So if it is a flashback, we might get the origin story and then Iron Man coming up to him saying, "I can train you," or "We need you for," but that'd be just backwards. It would just be, it just won't make sense. I wouldn't. No, the film's progressed. I don't think we've ever had a flashback apart from Captain America, which was
technically Cap because World War II. Iron Man's all. Yeah, I don't think there is. Yeah, there's. I can't think of one that would be a step back timeline wise on the films beforehand.
Yeah, it's all been chronological order. Even Ant-Man, Falcon was part of the Avengers, so
yes,
that followed after Ultron.
Yeah.
So that's Black Panther, Spider-Man. I think that's it on my notes. Can you think of anything else that we can talk about?
I think I'm just intrigued to see what's going to be in there. There's some stuff we mentioned, the raft or what appears to be the version of the raft.
It's actually named the raft on the
internet.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's going to be interesting. I think we mentioned it's going to be interesting to see where that comes from. Is that something that's been built and then the Sokovia Accords happen and then the film?
Yeah.
Or does that get built after the Accords and that's part of what creates the argument and the war and leads it on?
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting. So, I'm hoping it's the latter. I'm hoping it's a case of that's one of the things that is the tipping point to leading them to fight each other.
Yeah, so Iron Man's kind of created this with the help of the government, or government's created it, or but I mean,
you look at
no, carry on, yeah.
You look in the car. I mean, the raft. You had the damning field to get rid of powers, and some of them had the implant that deadened their powers and stopped them being able to do stuff. So,
and there were special cells, I think, in the comic books for certain villains.
That's the negative zone prison.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
In Civil War, instead of using the raft, they open up to the negative zone, build a prison there, and each cell is set specifically to the person in it.
Right. Yeah. Got you.
There's some way of deadening their powers that isn't like a chip.
Yeah.
If they're ice powers, it's constant heat, so ice can never form. That kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, it's going back to the raft in the film. Are there going to be prisoners in there already?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And if they are, who? Because if you go on the films, you've got Abomination.
He survived, yeah.
He survived, and then he's mentioned in one of the one-shots they did. For the DVD releases, the short one-shot film.
Yes, yeah.
Mini films.
Yeah.
There's one with Coulson and the bald agent, Sitwell.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a diner talking, and it's mentioned there that Abomination's in a prison in, I think it's Antarctica or something. It's on about potentially using him.
Right.
Would he be in the raft maybe? Is he there? Has he been moved? But again, who else is there going to be in this prison?
It could be an easy way to introduce some of the Spider-Man villains.
Could be.
Doc Ock, Lizard. I don't think they'll use them actually. Who?
I'd be
Mysterio?
surprised if they did.
Yeah.
In terms of the ones that they've had in the film, so we had Doc Ock,
Yep.
Lizard,
Yep.
Venom,
Venom, Electro, Sandman,
Sandman,
Goblin several times.
yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. So, kind of discounting them, you're left with Scorpion, Vulture,
a decent Rhino.
a decent Rhino would be good. So good. You're looking at Mysterio, yeah. More of your. Again, that'd be an interesting one. You look at they're adding Doctor Strange in. Do they go with Mysterio and being the stunt guy and it's all special effects?
Yeah.
Or is that someone they could change to be more of a mystical angle and it's illusions and magic?
Bring more magic into the MCU. Yeah.
Could be an interesting one. So yeah, I mean you've got plenty you can go through, and it raises interesting options as well down the line. Having Spidey in the universe in. The comics, obviously, you had Civil War, which was followed by Secret Invasion.
That's right, yeah.
It was the big event afterwards, so the Skrulls and many people have been taken over.
Yeah.
And then it was the Dark Avengers.
That's right, yeah.
Osborn had took over S.H.I.E.L.D., renamed it Hammer, got the Dark Avengers, which were the villains. So is there scope maybe for after Infinity War, look at going more that kind of angle and bringing something like that into it?
Yeah.
Could be good.
Possible, yeah, definitely, yeah. Especially with a lot of the films, like say trilogies, coming to an end. Thor will be finished, Captain America. Yep. That stage, you'll be finishing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Stage 5, will it be?
Phase. We're in phase 3, aren't we?
Starting phase 3 with Civil War, I think.
Civil War and Strange later this year, and Ragnarok and Black Panther.
Yeah, and Guardians of the Galaxy, that's being filled right now.
Yep.
Jesus.
And then is it Infinity War Part 1?
Yes.
And then is Captain Marvel still going ahead?
I'm really not sure. Because I think they put that back because of Spider-Man coming out.
Yes. And then you've got Inhumans got cancelled, didn't it?
Yes, it has.
Put back or something.
It's, as far as I know, it's just been taken off the schedule.
Took off, yeah.
But I think I heard someone say, I've not watched Agent Shields, but a lot's just happening there with Inhumans.
Yeah, I have been keeping up with it. So spoilers for anyone who's watching Agent Shield and hasn't caught up. Big spoiler warning right now. Skip ahead.
Yeah.
Effectively, Terrigen has gone everywhere. So you've got the storyline that's gone off recently in the comics with the Inhumans and Terrigen. Name eludes me at the moment. I think we actually spoke about it very briefly in the Batman video.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't remember the name of the arc. Where effectively, in the comics, Terrigen Mist spread throughout the world and thousands of people were becoming humans.
Yeah.
It's a similar arc with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Basically, a load of Terrigen crystals fell into the sea, dispersed, infected fish, people eating the fish or taking fish oil pills and so on.
Right.
If they're Inhumans, are going through Terrigenesis and becoming Inhumans.
Yeah.
And then mixing in the Secret Warriors kind of storyline with that. So you've got the character Skye, Daisy.
Yep.
Is an Inhuman. She's Quake, and she's been building up the Secret Warriors team.
Right.
And then you've had Hydra pursuing Inhumans and trying to build up their own Inhuman army. And at the point at the moment, they've kind of got big, powerful, uber Inhuman good guys trying to defeat him.
Right, got you. Yeah.
Not too much further spoilers, but that's the kind of point you're looking at where that's at. So, yeah.
So maybe they're concentrating on them on the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show rather than having big films for them.
At the moment, certainly, yeah, and especially with the cancellation of the film, that's going to be interesting to see if that comes back and where that goes.
Yeah.
I've just brought the list up of films.
Yep.
So we've got Civil War and Strange are this year.
Yep.
Next year it's Guardians 2, Spider-Man and Thor.
Right.
Year after it's Black Panther, Infinity War Part 1, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right.
Year after it's Captain Marvel, Infinity War Part 2.
Right.
and then it
That's-
would have been Inhumans.
Yeah. It's interesting as well because they pushed Inhumans in the comic books, and
Yep.
they're doing a lot of damage to the X-Men stuff.
Basically, they're the new X-Men.
Yeah.
Is how it seems to be going. They're the persecuted minority, and
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll protect those and all this crap. But yeah, it's a shame that if they did that to push the Inhumans, and now they're not going along with the film, I feel like they've sacrificed a lot in the comics for the X-Men, just assumingly to be spiteful towards Fox. That's just assumptions. We can't say anything.
Yes, officially we have no idea.
No.
Just speculate and make comments, but we're not going to say anything official that will get us in trouble.
Exactly. But yes, it would be a shame if they did do that and took a lot away from the X-Men to push Inhumans and the film didn't come out. At least there would be an reason why they were doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're I'm going a completely different way. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for Civil War and Doctor Strange. Definitely forward to seeing some new characters in the MCU. Yeah. And I just want to do one final thing, and this is a major spoiler. There's going to be spoiler alerts all over the place. At the end of Civil War, it ends with the Captain America dying.
Comic storyline, you mean?
In the comic books, yeah. How would you feel, this is just speculation again, how would you feel if they carried on the Captain America movies, but with either Bucky or Falcon as Captain America? Would that be something that could possibly happen? Because Captain America's a household name, and the films would draw attention. Would it be okay to have a different character as Captain America?
It'd be a bold move. I think you look at any kind of superhero franchise before, and Batman being the main one.
Yeah,
it's never been a different person taking on the cowl. It's always been a different film universe.
Yeah.
So to actually go through with killing a character off and someone taking on the mantle would be an interesting choice.
Oh yeah.
Good to see. And yeah, like you say, comic wise, Cap died. Well, Cap dies.
Yeah. Comic book world.
Yeah. And it's Bucky that takes over, but more recently you've had Falcon took on the mantle of being Cap.
Yeah.
Steve was still around, and there was another Cap, and yeah.
Steve got old, then he got young again, and now he's because they could do that with a few characters as well, like Thor, a female Thor.
Jane Foster took on of Thor recently. It'd raise an interesting option for them if you had. Although it'd be very confusing, I think, as well. Not necessarily for comic readers and people who are stuck with it, but you've got to look at it kind of from a generic audience member. So someone who isn't invested in the comics, someone who hasn't read any of the storylines or anything it's based on. If as a choice, if they had, not necessarily at the end of this film, but if it was, Bucky and Falcon take on the mantle. But for different reasons. Maybe the end of the film, if it's same as the comics, Cap surrendered, gets assassinated, and Falcon's maybe joined Tony's team at that point.
Yeah.
He takes on the mantle of Cap for Cap to be on Iron Man's side, as it were, and have a story arc that way. But then you have the other side of Bucky takes it on because it was Steve, it was his best friend, he wants to honour his memory, and you have more of the Secret Avengers led by Bucky Barnes, Captain America.
Yeah.
So for me, that would be a fantastic choice to be able to have, or a story arc to go down. I can't ever see a major movie studio doing two different Captain Americas in films at the same time.
It's too risky, but I think it would, like I say, a bold move. And sometimes, especially MCU, as much as I love the films, there is kind of a similar thing to each film. Like, the heroes come along, they fight, they make friends, they go fight the bad guy. So having something a bit more mixed in, a bit more bold, taking steps to a different direction, I think that'd be awesome.
It's what I've liked actually about some of the more recent films, Ant-Man and Winter Soldier being two of the main, is they're very different tone in film. They're different genres of film to what the rest of the MCU have been. So Winter Soldier, you've got the thriller angle, the spy kind of angle to it. It's still a superhero film, lots of things blow up, but it's more of a, like I say, a thriller
Yeah.
spy angle to what's going on and what Cap's doing within it.
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man is more your comedic heist film
Yeah.
than a serious major villain. Although that in itself, the story beats are a play-by-play of the first Iron Man.
Yes, yeah, it is, to be fair, yeah.
But at least it was done in a very different, like I say, tone genre of film than Iron Man was.
Definitely, yeah. So, yeah, and like I say, new Doctor Strange coming out, and they're just going to... It's nice how they're doing different genres in the MCU.
Yeah.
Even teen drama with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Teen
Yeah,
flick,
because
I
it's
think.
the high school years, or was the rumour, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. First one's called Homecoming, I think it's called.
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, but, yeah, is there anything else you would like to add? Or have you covered everything?
Don't think so.
Yeah. So which team would you go for?
Cap.
Cap.
Team Cap.
Yeah, I'd have to say same, yeah. The underdog type thing. But...
Yeah, it's the underdog. It's I think if I actually met the characters that are in the films,
yeah,
don't think I'd like Tony.
No. Yeah.
That's probably the biggest reason at the moment for saying Team Cap.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, I think that covers everything. So thank you for joining me, Dan. That's
no worries.
And thanks for everyone for joining us and listening in for our very long discussion of more than Civil War. So if you stayed with us, thanks a lot, and then we'll see you next time, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Bye.